Hello, and what a great day to sew something wonderful. I'm Kia with KeaBee, and I'm so excited to kind of share a whip parade with you today. I thought it would be kind of fun as we're nearing the end of the year, kind of going through all of my whips. Earlier this week, I thought, I really need to put a number to my whips. I've gotten a little bit unorganized. And as we head into plans for the new year, I kind of need to know where I'm at. So I sat down an entire day, went through all of my whips. I had started maybe 18 months ago putting in library cards to whips, but I had not made it all the way through yet. So I intentionally sat down with a stack of library cards off of Amazon and just started going through them. So I have a spreadsheet on my iPad, and what I've done is I have kind of divided everything up into categories. I wish that I were as organized as Kristen from Steel City in the fact that I put them in order so I can say, okay, here are my Christmas whips. Here are all of my Thanksgiving and fall whips. But I did it. I have them organized that way on a spreadsheet, but not physically in real life. I kind of have them divided into what I consider pretty project bags and IKEA Ziploc bags, which we will talk about as we get along, because I find them as an extremely affordable project bag option, which we'll talk about a little bit about that when we get to it. So I thought I would just sit down. The last whip parade that I did, if you joined us for the Common Threaded Stitcher, one of the nights I hosted by myself without Tech Guy, and I impromptu did a small whip parade and just kind of like a whip update live on Instagram. So that was really fun. But on my channel, I haven't done one, I think, in, if not a full year, it's been over a year. I guess I should say that the other way. If it hasn't been over a year, it's been at least a full year. So I thought I would sit down and kind of do that with you today. If you hear a little bit of a background noise, right now it is about 52 degrees outside here in Indiana, and our furnace is out. So I have a little space heater in my desk. My office, you might notice I'm in a different office, which I think I've already addressed on our channel, is a loft in our house. It's quite large. It's the exact same size as my old office. It's just upstairs, and it is quite frigid. So, okay, so grab a cup of coffee or a tea, or today it's Diet Mountain Dew. Maybe a notebook and a pen. I don't know. I think I have some pretty cool whips, but grab what you want. I will say before I put my iPad down, so what I did is I created a spreadsheet, and I've got them in categories. So that's what you'll see is all of the bright colors. They're all in different categories as far as like Christmas, Thanksgiving and fall. I have a whole B category. I have a friendship category, and then several others. But what you notice on the side is the grayscale. So the grayscale is actually where I'm at in that project. So if I'm leaving here in a few months for Situate, I might be able to grab, I have a progress category that is just fill-in stitching. Like I'm at a good spot where this is a great place to take it to a retreat, take it to a doctor's office, take it to whatever, because I'm just filling in. So I have like a gray scale that I did on my progress on my whips, so that if I need something like, hey, I'm just going to do this thing, it would be a great spot to go. I also, on my progress scale, it goes from barely started, which you'll understand why when we get to those kinds of projects, to very little to left to do. So, all right, let's jump into it. If you have any questions or need clarification on a chart or anything like that, please do not hesitate to leave a comment down below, and you guys know I love to answer comments and things like that. So the whip pile is pretty crazy, but we'll get to it. And then at the end, I will begrudgingly tell you how many whips I have. I'm not gonna lie, it was a little bit of a surprise to me, but I need to come up with a plan. Every plan I've tried to put in place, I haven't really stuck to. So I need to try and come up with a plan to knock out some whips in 2023. So, did I address the space heater? I think I started to talk about it. if you're hearing like a buzzing humming, it's because I have a space heater at my feet because I'm freezing. So, all right, very first, let's start with the pretty bag section. This shelf is empty right here, and it's because that's where my pretty bags sit, because I like to see them and have them out nicely. This is a project keeper from Tiger Lily. I got it over the summer, and it's just beautiful, beautiful. So inside I keep several projects. So I will go through these first, so that we can get to them. Now I have listed a couple of these as whips because they are like I need to start these at any second, because either a couple of them are gifts or just because I need to start them. So a couple of these things I won't have pictures for, just because they are freebie charts or things like that. So, or something I've bought off of Etsy that doesn't have a cover sheet. So this very first one is, I think I labeled it, let me see. So this is like what my library cards will look like. This is a monochromatic, so it only has one floss, but I list the name of the chart, where it's from, if I am gifting it, or if there's a hashtag, or if there's a special memory attached to it, I will write that there. And then what floss or what fabric I'm using, if I know it, and floss. So this first one is called, I just call it Your Name. I think the technical term on Etsy is I Wrote Your Name Pillow Tuck, I think. And it is by Country Rustic Primitives, Jenny Hoffman, on Etsy. And it says, I wrote your name in my heart and forever it will stay. Anna Boleyn, 1823. It is a tiny little pillow sampler. It's absolutely adorable, and you can attach a little felt heart. So I am, there have been some amazing, amazing ladies that I just need to thank formally. And so I'm going to whip several of these up as a thank you gift for them. And I am going to use 40 count cauldron smoke. So it is a little bit more purple in real life than it's showing up. I'm sitting right in front of a window, so you would think it would be better, but it's not. So this is Cauldron Smoke by Color and Cotton. And I am just very easily using a beautiful silk from Be Stitch Me called Fluorite. And it is greens and purples. It's beautiful. And here are the two together. So like I said, it's monochromatic, but I love to use up these over variegated ones on these monochromatic, especially when it's just words. It's kind of nice just to have something simple. So it hasn't been started yet, but it is like a whip in my mind, because it's got to get started and out the door. Okay, the next things I have are, pull these out here. All right, the next one, again, is not a whip, but it's an ongoing project that I have. I just finished the last one that I did, and so it's an ongoing one that I have to do. So I consider it like one whip because it's a series. So it is Amazing Grace by Heartstring Samplery. I picked this up at Always in Stitches in their clearance section, actually. So we took a birthday trip there and I picked it up. And so I just finished another hem that I am planning on doing a wall above our piano. So this is the next one. In our next floss tube, you will see the finish of the other one. So I don't have a fabric for it yet, but I am utilizing the exact same flosses. I just pulled a round of floss that I really enjoy, just a gambit of colors. And I'm just gonna utilize these throughout the series, and that way they all match and everything. So I haven't pulled a fabric for that one yet, but because it's a series, I consider it a whip. All right, now actual started whips. So I have decided, I don't even know where I got this idea, but I don't know. It just came to me like 2 weeks ago, and I was like, I have to start this. And it came to me the day before I was leaving for a trip to Cincinnati to Keepsakes. So I was like, I have to start this while I'm there. So I asked Tech Guy to get me a clear iPhone case. And so he brought one home to me, and it came with this little insert to kind of show the clearness of the case. And so what I did is I traced around the whole of my iPhone camera, and then I charted some things, or I pulled from charts a piece that will fit into a clear phone case. I'm so excited about this. I want to finish it like yesterday, and I am not done yet. So I decided to pull from Sew Sisters. I call them fat bottom girls. I love the representation of the bigger girls. I really do, especially in antique samplers and things like that. They weren't always skinny. And so this I just love so much. This is a future installment of the BFF Sal, but I decided to pull it. I'm doing this girl and half of this kind of coming off of the phone case. So I just pulled colors that I really liked, and I picked up a beautiful Gloriana from Keepsakes while I was there, because when in Rome. And so I'm using all silks from Be Stitch Me, which if you guys are not on her monthly club of silks, she just does such a beautiful, beautiful job. So this is my color palette. This Gloriana right here is called, I don't know how to pronounce it, and I don't want to butcher it. So here is the floss card. It's beautiful. It is going to be the most perfect like needle and thimble color, because she's holding a thimble. So here is my progress on this. It is on 40 count Garden Path by Color and Cotton, and I will show you the progress that I've made so far. Look at that dress. Is that not just, oh, I love it so much. So that is where we're at so far. I did all of this while sitting at Keepsakes for an entire day. I was proud of myself. I got a lot of stitches in. So that is going to be my phone case, and then eventually I will stitch her again when Stephanie and I actually finish any of the installments that we have going in our Sal, our ongoing Sal. So I'm so excited to have a phone case with stitching in it. Like, what an adorable idea. I'm so excited about it. I'm sure I am not the first to think of it. I'm sure that I had to have seen it from somewhere to get the idea from something. So bear with me. I am gonna take just an extra second to put everything where it goes as we go, so that when I get done with this, I don't have a monstrosity of things I can't explain. If you know, you know. You know? Okay. This project keeper is perfect to keep multiple projects. I've been kind of using it as whatever is downstairs, like on my needle, ready to go. I keep a couple of projects in it, and then that's just where we're at with it. Did that make any sense at all? I keep several projects in it so that I have options to stitch currently. Okay, you guys, this is an older whip, but I've since restarted it several times, and I even restarted it November 1st. So Colleen and Kim Store and Holly and Tammy and I are doing it. We kind of started it, but I think the original group started at Stitch West. The original group and the organizers have like they do a whip, or I mean a sampler every single year. They started at Stitch West and ended at Stitch West. And this year they decided to do Sunnyside Sampler. And Kim Store reached out to me and she was like, you should do this with us. And I thought, oh, it's so perfect. I already have it in my whip. Susan at Keepsakes did a beautiful floss conversion for me. And so I restarted it again on fabric that I love again. And so, again, I have no idea. It's a 40 count Color and Cotton. I do know that. So Colleen has, on her Instagram page, she has I think it's the hashtag Sunnyside Sal. Don't quote me. That's what I have written down on my card. But she has the front picture and she broke it up into the installments that they're going to do. So it's a year-long Sal. And I'm so excited to like have a push to do it. Like I'm excited to have some accountability. I think I work best that way with some accountability. So I have a beautiful floss conversion, like I said, that Keepsakes made for me. And just to kind of note about Keepsakes and their floss conversions, they do such a wonderful job. Like if you call them and you're like, hey, I need XYZ, but I would love if you would convert it for me. They send you like a beautiful, with your package, they send you a typed out thing. Hey, this is this color we substituted for this color is substitute for this color, all the things. It's beautiful. They're very, very organized. So, all right, let's keep going. So Much to Love bag. And inside I have Kindred Spirits by Kathy Barrick. This is a sal that I had started with Steph from Just Keep Stitching and Liz Matthews. The girls had gifted me everything that I need for this for my birthday in 2020, I think. So you don't care about my library card. Here are the beautiful NPIs. They're just so nice and lovely. Lovely. And I have the smallest of start. So this in my spreadsheet would be considered barely started. So that means like, hey, you need to get your button gear and put some progress in on this. I am a bottom left hand starter. So I start here at the end and work my way left to right and up. So that is that. It's such a fun one. But you know what? I have not worked on it since we started it in 2020. October 5th is when we started that. And I think because that was when Pam and Steph were doing their no starts for the year. And they only have like a window to start, I believe. All right, this is also one in a So Much to Love bag with bees all over it. It's adorable. And this one is another one I was doing with Liz and Steph called A Sweet Friendship by Cricket Collection. This came out in 2021, in June of 2021. Look, I even have the little, whatever Karen calls these. Her bags are just amazing. I am doing this okay, so what we had decided to do, and I'm not sure what we're doing now, but what we had decided to do is we would pick our own color palette. Each of us would pick a girl and either redesign her dress into something that looked more like ourselves or just change the colors. I took that quite literally and completely redesigned one of the dresses, and this is how far I am. So we were using this as a round robin. And so you stitch yourself ultimately 3 times. So I would finish stitching myself, pass it to the next person. She would stitch herself here, pass it to the next person. And then, so at the end we would have 3 girls. Look at that yellow. So this yellow is called, guys, I love this dress so much. So I redesigned it. She's obviously a bee. And this is a silken colors. It is called Straw into Gold. The variegation is so beautiful. I could never think, like this will always and forever be a bee color for me because it's so beautiful. So that is started there. I really love that skirt so much. I just did it did I do it on Procreate maybe? On my iPad. I'm not very good with apps and things like that. Another So Much to Love bag. You can find her on Etsy. This was a birthday gift from Liz in, again, 2020. This is her Stars and Stripes tree. So I started this on the 4th of July. I had a house full of people. This is the year that Nathan surprised me for my birthday and brought in Pam and Steph for a long weekend, and Jen and Brandon as well from Quirks and Stitches and Ujavi Jai. So I started this. This is a 36 count Weeks Dye Works, and it is all the called for flosses. This is if you guys need, this is going to be a fantastic StitchCon start. So if you can purchase this, this is something like 66 rows or something like that. 66 rows of, I don't remember how many. But this is all block stitching. This is absolutely perfect for you to sit at StitchCon and just have mindless stitching. And it's right before Independence Day. So think about that as you're kind of gearing up if you get to go to StitchCon. So love that, using the called for flosses. Again, Liz gifted me that for my birthday. So pretty. Trying to keep somewhat organized over here. Again, so much to love bag. So pretty. I love these like salt box-ish houses. This is a Prairie Schooler, As the Crow Flies. And I remember this was a 12 by 12 start in 2020 and I got barely a start. Barely a start. This is on 40 count Cafe au lait and it is all the called for DMC. That is it. That's my start right there. So if you are unfamiliar with what 12 by 12 is, it is my kind of fun take on New Year's Eve. We don't really typically have any plans for New Year's Eve. We don't go anywhere, do anything. And a couple of years ago, I thought it would be so fun. I was also doing the no new starts throughout the year. And I thought I need a window as well, but my window didn't make sense to do it in October because I wasn't, you know, for Pam and Steph, it made sense because they were going on their retreat. It was something they were doing, or their crockpot crew thing, their trip. And it made sense for them because they were all doing it together. So it made sense for that to be their window. It didn't make sense for me to have my own little window in October. So I decided my window would be on New Year's Eve and I would do 12 starts in 12 hours. So from noon to midnight, every hour you're starting something new. I have done it the last couple of years. Pam joined me last year and we hosted a live on Instagram about a half an hour every 4 hours. It was super fun. It was a great time to just see, hang out on Instagram live and hang out with you guys and see how many people were participating. So, that is 12 by 12. So when we do those things, you get very little time to actually start something, but it's like a whole thing. It's so fun. So we really enjoyed it. This is Busy Hands by Kathy Barrick. This is, when I saw this come out, I just thought I have to start that. It's so beautiful. This is my piddly little start. Love it so much. And do I know what this is started on? Yeah, 40 count earthen from PTP. Picture This Plus. And you can definitely tell when you hold up fabric if it's Picture This Plus because it has this just undeniable modeling that it is PTP. So that is that. And I don't know if I said it, but this is also in a So Much to Love. Wow, So Much to Love bag in these beautiful like spring colors. Gorgeous. Side note, if you hear children, we homeschool. And so they are downstairs. A couple of them are doing school and one of them is playing Legos at the table. Okay, this next whip is just in a bag I made. And you guys, this whip and I have a love, despise relationship. This is Snow Village. So I started a Sal on our channel. I think it was hashtag KeaBee Snow Village Sal, something like that. And I failed miserably at that Sal. It was awful. I finished, this is my, for lack of better terms, that I can't come up with a better one, under the bed box of finishes that really need FFO'd. And there's several in there that are finished. I have the banner done and I have like 3 houses done, like 3 sections. But I really failed miserably on this. So this is all of Snow Village. Keepsakes did such a beautiful job of putting it all together and shipping it out. They did just a fantastic job. If anybody called, they would have it fully kitted for them. So I have the entire collection, the entire Snow Village collection. Keepsakes would mail it to you once a month. And I have since restarted it again. And I made a boo-boo. So the lovely Jody from Steel City Stitchers, she sent me beautiful 56 count fabric. And so I have restarted it on this 56 count fabric, but I made a boo-boo. So I decided, oh, I'll go ahead and pre-cut these so that I have it pre-done. It's pre-ready to go and it'll be wonderful. And on 56 count, these are gonna make the cutest, what I call Cheez-It pillows. But look at the size hoop I have to use because I don't love my stitches in hand, especially white stitches. So this is a beautiful fabric. As Jody will tell you, she doesn't name any of her fabrics. So this is kind of what it looks like. It's gorgeous. It looks kind of like a night sky. And I love it so much. I've since restarted it again. That tiny hoop is ridiculous though. So, Snow Village. This is, you guys aren't gonna care about these. These are just little ones I made. They're not super fancy or anything. I just needed project bags. This is This Land from Teresa Kogut. It is on 40 count silver fur. And I believe I used called for flosses here. Wouldn't it have been lovely if I would have ironed all these before so you could actually like see them beautifully? So this is my progress on this. I love this silver fur. It's really going to make that sheep pop. So that is This Land by Teresa Kogut. Whoops. Okay, this next one is in this beautiful Wizard of Oz fabric bag that I made with some fabric I bought for Steph and I. It is Leanne's Legacy. It is Baby, It's Cold Outside. We started this in 2020. And here is my progress on this. It is on a 40 count color and cotton called Prairie Dust. With the called for flosses. Ooh. Tech Guy bought me this amazing basket. Here, I'll show you. This awesome, it's not wicker, it's the, is it resin? That's like meant to last. He bought it at Marshall's or TJ Maxx one, and I love it. And so it keeps all my projects. Okay, this is Spring Quilt Tree, another fantastic retreat piece because it's the exact same pattern repeated over and over and over. And so this is a really great one to take when you need some mindless stitching. This is going to be on 40 count stone by Fabric Flare. Here is my piddly little start here. But as I'm looking through my spreadsheet, I do not have a ton of spring pieces. I have 3. I have 3. So I need to get some work done on these. So Spring Quilt Tree, a great retreat piece, or just when you need some mindless stitching that you don't really want to have to look back and forth to a pattern. It's a great one. This is in a bag that I made. This is also a Teresa Kogut. This is called For the Love of Nature. Now let me tell you something about this. This was my birthday gift this year from Liz. Can you tell that my friends really spoil me? And I had bought, you can't see it, on top of these organizers, there is a quilt kit for this. And when I saw the stitching pattern, I love it. I think it's beautiful, but it didn't really I wasn't like, oh, I have to start that tomorrow. But when I saw the quilt panel and the pattern that comes in one of the kits, I was like, I have to start that. It's beautiful. I would love it in my home. And so Liz had come the week after StitchCon A, so the week between the 2 StitchCons, she had brought me that because I couldn't find it anywhere. I called everywhere in Cincinnati and Indianapolis, and nobody had them. Nobody. And Liz walked into her local quilt store and they had a bunch of kits. So I bought it, but that was back in like the spring. And she just held on to it for me until we saw each other in person because it would have cost a fortune to ship. And so when I got it, I opened it when she was here and we just oohed and awed over this beautiful quilt kit. And I thought to myself, I have to start this. I have got to, I have to start the quilt, and I want it, eventually I want the quilt and the stitching hanging together because they are different enough that it would just be beautiful. So my two loves hanging next to each other would just be awesome. So the very next day, we went to Always in Stitches and she kitted this for me for my birthday. And it's just beautiful. So this was my StitchCon start this year because we attended StitchCon B. And it is a unnamed 46 count B stitch me. And here is my progress on that. So when we came home from StitchCon, we had a lot of downtime after. So I got some good progress on that. I did not make all this progress at StitchCon. I think I maybe just got this bottom section done here, maybe. So that is for the Love of Nature. And it is all of the called for flosses. It's so beautiful. Teresa Kogut. I saw a floss tube this week that talked about how much of it, she is an artist first. She is an artist first and foremost, and her products come after that. And she's just beautiful. This was a 12 by 12 start. It is in a random project bag that I made. There's no reason that it's in a Christmas bag because it is not a Christmas stitch. This is a 12 by 12 start last year. It is Quaker Dwelling by Kathy Barrick. That I have a love of houses, and you might see that throughout my whips. I love to stitch houses. For whatever reason, I just think they're beautiful. And this house, you guys, this picture does not do it justice. If you have a chance to see a Kathy Barrick trunk show in person, study it. It's beautiful. So this picture does not do it justice, but it's just gorgeous. So what I did for 12 by 12 last year is I really tried to pull a lot from stash, just because I have an obscene, I do not have an obscene, I have a stash that I am very proud to have. And so last year for 12 by 12, I really tried to pull from those. So this color is by A Wicked Stepmother, and it is Hey Jude. That is the floss color. Hey Jude. So Niecy Lynn talks about A Wicked Stepmother all the time. She uses a lot of their flosses. She really loves them, and I thought that's a perfect color to try this on. That fabric is 46 count Under the Sea from 46 count London Fog from Under the Sea. I have 1.5 yards of this because my very best friend spoils me. She gave me 1/2 yard for Christmas last year, and then she bought me a full yard at Stitchway, which is so kind. So it's a beautiful one, but it is not a retreat piece. It is not a mindless stitching piece. You really have to pay attention to those Quaker patterns because they're not all exactly alike, but Kathy's a beautiful designer. This is in a project bag that Jen Lee, Corks and Stitches, her mom, made for me, and it's just beautiful. A little bee pattern. And in this lives a pattern that when Jen was at my house, I was like, I have to have that pattern. It's beautiful. It's called A Friend's House, my friend's house from Blackbird. And I am working this. This was a 12 by 12 start in 2020. And this is a 40 count silk weaver called Purely Primitive. So there's my start on that. It is a beautiful one. When I went through all of my whips, I thought to myself, can I see this hanging in my house? Do I love it enough to continue working on it? Or do I want to gift it to someone? Like when it's finished? Or do I want to part with it? Now I have to say I parted with maybe 6 or 7, but y'all, the most embarrassing thing, I had finishes in whip bags. Do y'all do that? I don't know why I had them in there, but I did. 2 finishes, completely done, just sitting in a whip bag. This next one is Friendship Sampler by Birds of a Feather. And here's my progress. I am doing this with Steph. This is our ultimate BFF style. We have wanted to do this chart for so long. And this is on 40 count color and cotton in Garden Path. It's beautiful. All right, next one is just a cute pumpkin project bag I made for myself. This is Boo to You by Brenda Gervais, which is with Thy Needle and Thread. I've made a couple of changes to this one. So one weekend, I think, I just really knocked out that skirt. And then I chose a pretty light fabric. Let me grab my card. This is 40 Count Gray by Fabric Flare. And when I started to put in that shirt that's white, I could not see it. So I pulled it out and started with, let me see, Gold Leaf by Gentle Art. So I thought, he's gonna have an orange shirt instead of a white one, and it's gonna be fine. So that's a fun fall piece. And this is one that now I just have fill-in. And so I marked it on my progress that, hey, you just have fill-in for this for a good, it doesn't mean that you just have fill-in left, but there's a good chunk of fill-in right now. But if you need some mindless stitching. Okay, this is a pretty special project. It lives just in a Christmas bag I made, vinyl front. But this project is one that is ongoing. My mom bought this for me at Keepsakes the very first time she went. And I don't, many of you might know, might not know. Our son is fairly medically complex. And we spend a lot of time in hospitals and doctor's offices. And this project is solely hospital stitching. It didn't start out that way. It started just as, hey, this is a small project that is nice just to kind of throw in my bag and work in a small hoop. It just takes a hoop this small. I'm gonna lose my basket over here. And so this is probably a good one to sit in the ER with, or whatever. All of that to say, we spend a lot of time in the hospital. And so what this has turned out to be is these are going to get finished with all hospital stitching. I'm not there yet. I'm not even close. I don't even have one done yet. But over the last 2 years that I've had it, I just work on it in the hospital. I don't always just work on this. I will, if it's a planned stay, if it's a planned surgery, I will take other things that I need to get done or would like to work on. But this is like my unexpected emergency room stuff. Hey, we got to hop in the ambulance, grab a change of clothes and stitching, because my nerves are usually shot at that point. So that's what that is. Our hospital. This is my hospital bag. So actually I need to put that aside. Okay. I've got 3 more pretty bags left and then we'll go on. Okay, this one is in a bag that was the Crafter Emporium made for me. And this is, it started as a StitchCon small and then decided I don't want this to leave me. So this is a Teresa Kogut called Be Kind. And I have an ongoing style that I started on our channel in 2019. I don't remember. That's just hashtag Be Kind. And it's just a constant reminder to have something going that either has a bee on it or has the words Be Kind or whatever. I also have Be Kind, Be True by Liz Matthews. That is somewhere in this pile. I think it's the next one actually. So I have this ongoing hashtag be kind. Just as a reminder that, you know, the internet, it's so easy to judge, make comments behind a computer or phone screen. And, you know, we all have lives. We all have struggles. We all have this, that, and the other. And taking it out on people online is not a coping mechanism. So this is part of that hashtag for me. It's not hashtag be kind. It's hashtag be and encouragement, BEE and encouragement Sal. And so it's just, you know, use your words for encouragement, not criticism. And so this is my start on that. This is, oh, there's Tech Guy. This is, I don't know where my card went. There it is. 40 count pear wood by Color and Cotton with called for flosses. So be an encouragement. Feel free to grab a project with a B on it and use that hashtag. I would love to see your progress. This is the second one. This was made for us by a subscriber. When I tell you this bag is so beautiful, it's gorgeous. Oh, I would love for this to be like my YouTube screen grab. Wouldn't that be amazing? So cute. So this has Liz Matthews, Be Kind, Be True. This is the very first Liz Matthews pattern that I ever did. And when I met her at market that year, we were working market. So you're not supposed to work market and fangirl. Market is not one of those places that you go and hang out, and it's not a retreat. It is work. And if you're there, you should be working, not fangirling, but I totally fangirled over Liz Matthews. That's kind of where our relationship kind of started. You would think, gosh, Kia, that's almost done, and you started it in 2020. Why is it not done yet? Oh, I don't know. Because I have so much fill-in to do. Not so much. This banner needs filled in, and then it's essentially done. So that is another installment of hashtag Be an Encouragement. All right, you guys. Do you ever just have those things? Do you just ever have those whips? Or, I mean, not whips. Do you ever have those charts that are literally like dream charts to you? Like they're dream stitches, dream quilt projects, dream hobby. That like, when I can do that, like I know that I am where I'm supposed to be, or whatever, however you want to say that. Hawk Run Hollow is that thing for me. I told you I have a love of houses. And from the moment that we started our floss tube, we have a quilting channel. This is, if you're on this video, it's the same channel. So we do quilting and cross stitch and all the things. And when I had really started making my cross stitch public, because I have this quilting and cross stitching. Quilting is kind of my job, and cross stitch is my downtime. Like it's my fun. And when I started going public with like floss tube, I thought Tekka and I should do floss tube together. That would be really fun, and document his starting to stitch. You know, I've stitched since I was a little girl. But when I started to see hawk runs like on floss tube, I thought to myself, when I can do a hawk run hollow by Caratal Samplings, that is my like dream thing to do. And I don't know why. I don't know why I held it on such a pedestal, but I do. And I just think it is, for me, it's like a point of, look at where you're at. Like, look at what you get to do for fun. And like, if you're a part of this community, you get to be a part of this community. Like, you get to stitch. You get to enjoy all these wonderful things. I'm getting emotional over a chart. But that's what this community is. Like, you get to make the decision to be a part of the community, and you get to make the decision to have this hobby and to invest in it. And I don't know, it's just, Hawk Run has always been one of those like yeah, I'll attain that dream at some point. So emotions aside, that was really silly to get emotional about. But this year, my very dear friend Liz Matthews was like, just do it. Just do it. And so I got to purchase the houses of Hawk Run Hollow this year and all the MPIs. So I just started this a week ago. So I haven't made much progress yet. But just to be able to do this, I understand a lot of cross stitch is an investment. It is. It can be kind of expensive. And so often in our community, we can find this like pull to not just use DMCs, not just use Ada, or not just, you know, you have to stitch right where you're at and what makes you happy. And I view this as an investment piece for myself. And so I was able to purchase all of the NPIs this year, and it just, I don't know. I need to stop talking about it because it's just special, and I think you guys understand that. So here's my start. Again, I start bottom left corner, and so I'm starting right here. But just the encouragement of friends that are just do it. Just start. I think I wanted my stitching to be perfect. You know, I wanted to get to a level where I was proud of my stitching before I started something like this. And it wasn't that like, I can afford this now. It was never that. It was, I think my stitches would do this piece justice, and it would do this piece well, like, well done you. And so it was never that I would be able to afford these things. That is no small feat at all. It's that like I wanted to be proud of this piece when I'm done with it. So here are all of the beautiful NPIs. I put them on floss drops. I bought these at Michael's, and I bought a nope, not 1 inch. I think it's 3/4 inch, maybe, hole punch, and labeled them. This is how I hang my silks. So, I hope you understand that whole thing. It's never about the money aspect of it. It's that I want my stitches to be something that I can look at and be proud of and be like, wow, you accomplished that. It's the same way I look at quilts. I look at some quilts like, wow, you made that. You made that with your 2 hands. That's pretty special. If you guys don't look at your stitching or your hobby like that, you should. This is a Bags by Beth bag in Blackbird fabric that I cannot believe I was able to purchase on the last day the store was open at StitchCon. This was still sitting on the table. It was there for me. It was. Okay. Wow. Did any of that make sense? Have I lost you all? We're 48 minutes in. All right, 12 by 12 start. This is an Al Forrest embroidery kit. This is on 46 count B Stitch Me in scroll. I bought the kit last year, and this is a 12 by 12 start for 2021. And here is my progress on that. So I'm using all the kit flosses and everything that it came with. I love that piece so much. Okay. This is ABC Sampler by Country Cottage Needleworks. I've had this started for a while. StitchCon 2019 is when I started this. And this is on a 40 count. It's going to be color and cotton. I just don't know what color it is. And I am not a middle starter, so explain to me why I started in the middle here. No idea. Couldn't tell you. But I did. And there's that guy again. Being on 40 count, I didn't start it on 40 count in 2019. So I must have restarted it somewhere else. So, I don't know. All right, this next one is A Paix de Gnomes by Jardin Privé. I am severely butchering that the title of the chart, so I apologize. Love this. If you are a longtime viewer of our channel, you know that I've also restarted this multiple times. This is also on a 40 count color and cotton. I did middle start this, not sure why. I think I had a day of restarting things on 40 count, and I just started in the middle on several of them. So I counted down and over multiple times to start in that corner. Look at that gnome. Yeah, he's finished, that gnome. Are you kidding me with that little pot belly? I love it so much. So it is the called for DMCs, and ow, I just got a paper cut. And yeah, it's beautiful. Okay, next one, and I am going to try to go a little bit more quickly here. I do not have a picture for this one. Actually, that's a lie. Let me see if I can pull it up here. This is a Twin Peak Primitives called B for Bees. And it is a release they put out of an expo in 2021. So let me see. Here it is. Nope, don't want to show you the chart. I want to show you the picture. Here, oh, let me do it on this side. B for Bees. It's so pretty. The twins were so kind to send this to me. The girls are so sweet, and I just dropped it. Let me grab it. Oh, and I dropped a safety pin. That's nice. I would assuredly find that later with my foot. So here is my very small start on B for Bees. So I started this immediately when, like, if Liz sends me something that she's like gifted me like that from expo releases or something, and it's something that I know I'm going to stitch, I try to start it immediately so I can talk about it immediately on FlossTube. And so the girls, when the twins sent me that, I started it immediately, one for appreciation, but two so that I could talk about it with you guys. This next one is called After the Rain. Now this is a special project. I don't have the picture here with me, but this is a special project that I was asked to help Liz with. Several floss tubers and cross stitch friends were asked to kind of come up with their own color conversion and a story of maybe why they chose their rainbow colors in whatever that they did. So I am doing this on 5363 count Sandcastle from Legacy Linen, and I chose just a random assort of colors. Here is my progress on that. And what I decided to do, you'll notice every rainbow has the same center color. It's that yellow. And I kind of took a common threaded stitcher approach, and in mine, all of the rainbows will have the exact same yellow middle, and that is to represent the cross stitch that kind of binds us all together, the thread that binds us all together. So that is why my color conversion is what it is. I did kind of the common threaded stitcher approach there. All right, so let's take a second and talk about these IKEA Ziploc bags. So these I buy, they're really inexpensive from IKEA. They come in each box comes in 2 different sizes. And I buy the largest size that there is. I buy all of the sizes, but this largest size makes really great project bags. I think there are between 25 and 40 bags in each size. So, you know, a lot for your buck, or a bang for your buck. And they might be $2.99 for the box. And I throw my projects in that, especially these 12 by 12 projects when I'm starting a bunch of things at the same time. And I just find them, they're cheaper than Ziploc bags. And I find them just as durable and lovely. And they're kind of a little bit fun colors. All right, this is a project I started for 12 by 12 of 2021. It is Home for the Holidays, and I am doing all of these stockings. So I just pulled a bunch of red flosses that I knew I liked and loved, reds and pinks, and this is my piddly little start for 12 by 12 on one stocking. There's a tiny 2 little snowflakes. So I have all of the fabric cut. They're all 46 count. So it is a 46 count V-stitch me, I'm sure. So that is a beautiful little project I need to make some progress on. All right, I would say the only thing about these bags is that you want to make sure you have your work turned away from the plastic. Don't let your stitches lie directly on the plastic themselves. Okay, this next one is a beautiful Kathy Barrick. I was at Keepsakes one day and they had this hanging over the doorway, and I said, I will take that and start it right away. And I didn't start it right away, but I did start it for 12 by 12. So this is a good and proper home. I just think it's beautiful. I just love the sentiment behind it. I am doing this on 40 count color and cotton in chickpea. And I started this 12 by 12 of last year and then worked on it at Stitchway a little bit. Look at that berry bowl. It's beautiful. I am doing the called for DMC on that. Okay. This is a different size of the IKEA bags. And these just, for whatever reason, happen to have designs on them. They don't all have designs on them, but this one does. This is Not Forgotten Farm, a bushel and a peck. This is a 12 by 12 start from last year. And I am doing this on 40 count Cafe au Lait by Fiber on a Whim. And I just did a floss conversion from my stash. Just the bottom of the basket. I sing this song to our kids all the time, since they were born. I've always sung this song to our kids. All right, next one is a Blackbird Designs called Moonlit Garden. Beautiful fall piece. I did a floss conversion. This is on 46 count Sand Dollar by V-Stitch Me. And I just have the word heaven. Heaven, I'm in heaven. "57 minutes in. Are y'all still here? Have you written down anything? Is there anything that you're like, I want to start this, or I haven't seen this, or I need to ask her about that? This is a Prairie Schooler House Samplers. Now this is a kit that came from Better Homes and Gardens. There's not a picture. There is a picture. It's tiny. Here we go. There we go. So this is a Better Homes and Gardens kit. It came with Ada and it came with the floss. I'm doing a floss conversion of DMC because the floss that's listed, I don't know that it's DMC because the colors don't make sense. The color numbers don't make sense. So here's my start on that. Does that make sense? It might say like, I don't know if this is a real color, but like 402 is like a dark green. But when you look at 402 in DMC, it's not a dark green. I'm just using that as an example. I don't know if 402 is actually dark green, but so the numbers are off. So I wonder if they did like a special something or other for them. I don't know. Okay, I color converted this into V-Stitch Me silks. This is on 40 count color and cotton in corn husk. It is the Teresa Kogut All Hallows Eve. Is that what it's called? No, Wednesday Halloween. We are not a Halloween family. We do not celebrate Halloween. I do put out just a little bit of Halloween-y decorations. I'm looking out the window at literally the fattest squirrel I've ever seen in my whole life, running across our fence. Look at her hair. Isn't that good? So I put out maybe just a little bit of Halloween stuff. But we don't do a ton of Halloween in our house. To each their own. All right, another 12 by 12 start. This is from the Needle Love Company, and it is the Friendship Sampler. I have dreams of having a friendship wall, so I have lots of friend things started. My whole life, friendship has been extremely important to me. My entire life, I have found it very, sorry, I just completely shook the table. My whole life, I have just found friendship. I've taken it very, very seriously and found it like even as a teenager. Yeah, even as a teenager. And so friendship has just been very near and dear to my heart. So I dream of having a friendship stitched wall. So this is 46 count bronzed aged. Look how beautiful this fabric is from Be Stitch Me. Wrinkly, but beautiful. Look at that. So it is a beautiful, beautiful chart. I think Pam has this started as well. Maybe? That I might have just lied to you. Maybe Stephanie told me she has it in her stash. Don't quote me on that. Don't go running over to her inbox saying, you said you started this, because I 100% could be wrong. Now, this I'm not wrong about. I do know that she started this in 12 by 12 last year because we both picked it. Neither one of us knew the other one did. So this is Pride and True. So pretty by Blue Ribbon Designs. I love this one. This is on 40 count Earthen by PTP. Picture This Plus. And here's my start on that. I am doing the called for DMC on this. Such a pretty one. This I would consider just started. So as Park Hopper Bart will tell you, because he made me my very own chart. You can get it as a freebie from him. I consider a start when there are 50 stitches put in. I do not consider it a start if there are less than 50. So that's what I consider like a barely a start. And so I do not consider it a start until it has 50 stitches in it. And Park Hopper Bart made me a chart that says 50 stitches doth a new start make. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool when you have friends that do stuff like that. Okay, the next one is Not Forgotten Farm, Merry Maker. I don't know that I have a picture of this at all. I do not. Not easily. It's probably in my email. But Not Forgotten Farm, Merry Maker. It's a very cute little piece. This is my start. This is 46 count Be Stitch Me unnamed. Super cute. And I started this last year for 12 by 12. Okay, this was a birthday gift or Christmas gift last year from Stephanie. And I have all the pieces cut. This is Let My Example Shine from Chessie and Me. It's got a needle book and a scissor fob. I have all the pieces cut to do them all. And I have the outline completely done for the needle book. Very pretty. She bought me everything I needed to go with it. It is 46 count London Fog by Under the Sea. And it's beautiful. I did a couple of floss conversions because Keepsakes didn't have all of them. But yeah. Okay. Whew. Okay, this one is a freebie chart. I did this as a sal with some girls in my hometown that are near and dear to our heart. And it is a beautiful freebie from Little House Needleworks called I Am a Daughter. And so I am almost finished with this. I really just need to get my tuchus in gear. I did an anchor floss conversion just because it's when Joann's had just started carrying anchor and I really wanted to try it. So I kitted this for all the girls and we sat and watched the Gwen Shamblin documentary on HBO Max. I think it was the one on HBO Max. It's the one where she's standing in front of a stained glass window. It's got four episodes maybe. I think it's in its second season now. Okay, this is one that is the BFF Sal with Stephanie. This is one of our installments. This is Soul Sisters by Plum Street. It is embarrassing how little I have left to do on this, and it's still not finished. So, I just have fill-in. I am horrid at the 1/1, so Stephanie's gonna help me with that whenever we can do it. All right, this next one is a sal that I'm doing with my friend Katie, and Katie's not on floss tube. I'm trying to think of her Instagram name. Hang on. Because messages doesn't pop up with thoughts from the stitchy side. Because messages, like when you message on Instagram now, it doesn't come up with their what is that called? Their like tag. It comes up with their actual name. So I kind of forget sometimes. So this is a Long Dog Samplers. This is the new normal. This is Jules' 2020 sampler from the pandemic and like all the craziness that we went through then. And I am doing this on 46 count London Fog. I restarted this at Stitch Away this year, right before Stitch Away. But I originally started it October 9th of 2020 with Katie when they were at their crockpot retreat and she had a window to start things. We started this. So love this. I'm using Weeks Dye Works Battleship as the monochromatic color on this. It's beautiful. I have a page finish, almost a page finish. So I need to get some progress made on that. All right. All right. The Equality Sampler from Plum Street. I started this as a StitchCon Smalls exchange. I pulled out, well, I will show you because I am almost done with it. I pulled out a section and was going to do it for a Smalls exchange. Did not get it done in time. It is on a 46 count Be Stitch Me. And so I pulled out a row of houses and the flag, and I was going to finish this as a pillow and did not get it finished on time. So I thought, you know what? I'm not going to do the Smalls exchange. And when Barbara came around, I was stitching on this and she goes, that was going to be your Smalls exchange? I said, yeah. She's like, why would you give that away? Because I love to give things away. I have hardly any quilts hanging in my house because I make them and give them to people because I love to give gifts. Like, it's purely selfish motive because it brings me so much joy and happiness. It just does. Okay. This is Red Ornaments by Nikki's Creations. I started this for my birthday this year. That birthday trip that I took to Always in Stitches, I picked this up because I wanted to make Cheez-It pillows. So Cheez-It pillows are just something I make that are super tiny little pillows. So Jody, this is a 56 count fabric that Jody sent me, which was so generous of her. She doesn't name her fabrics, but this floss is Cupid by Classic Colorworks. And it's just, I love to make pillows that are the size of Cheez-Its. So I have gifted several of them now, and I don't know, I'm just obsessed with the tiny pillows. So I grabbed those and started them my birthday weekend. This is Mr. and Mrs. Fox Pilgrim. I started this last year just before Thanksgiving. Are they not literally the cutest? And this is on a 40 count color and cotton. I started this in October of last year, and here's where I'm at. So fun. You know, I had big hopes and dreams last year that I would have that done by Thanksgiving. No, I did not. I did not have it done by Thanksgiving. In case you're wondering, that orange is Weeks Dye Works Adobe because it's a really good variation. Okay, next one is, oh yeah, Merry and Bright by Pineberry Lane. This is a Christmas gift that I got from Stephanie in 2020, I believe. I started this on December 21st of 2020. This is funny. So this came out, she had gotten this a year before it was publicly released. So whether she got it in like a retreat box or something, she had it. And I just oohed and awed over it when she first started it. And she was like, okay, as soon as I'm finished, you can have it. So then last year, right before Christmas, it released. And she did everything in her power to not let me see that it released, other than like logging into my Instagram and blocking the accounts that had posted it. But like I didn't see it. Somehow I didn't see it at all. And so she even told everybody at Keepsakes, if she calls and orders this, we're not going to fill it. And it's because she had already gotten it for my birthday, for Christmas, and kitted it up. So super fun. Isn't that so sweet? I have all the called for colors on this. It is 40 count Cafe au lait by Fiber on a Whim. I do use fabrics other than color and cotton and Bee Stitch Me occasionally. All right, this is a Prairie Schooler. With Prairie Schoolers, you have to be so careful because the charts are on the back too. And so it's kind of different. This is Reindeer Roundup. I'm working this on a 53-63 count in Gothic Ivory by Legacy Linen. And I'm doing, of course, because it's Prairie Schooler, all of the called for floss. So Legacy Linen is very, very thin. So I'll show you. Like it's quite thin. So you have to be very careful with your thread traveling. But the stitches are so tiny. I just love them so much. This, oh, I dropped the card. This, I believe, was a 12 by 12 start in 2020. It was. Can you see how a ton of my whips are from 2020? Because they are. I mean, a lot of my whips are 12 by 12 starts is what I was trying to say. This one is Olga's Autumn Stocking. You guys, this is a book of a pattern from Plum Street. Like, she's really thick. But I love this. And I started it 12 by 12 in 2020. And this is on a 46 count Bee Stitch Me, but it is it's named number 307. I don't know what that means unless this is one that Stephanie had got for me in like a Friday night fight night maybe. And maybe that's the number it was. I don't know. But you can barely see my tiny little start right there in white stitches. But I'm very excited to have that stocking going. Okay. Ooh, a Teresa Kogut. This one is called Above All. This was an anniversary start for Tech Guy and I. So I started this May 16th of 2020 because that's our anniversary. And this is not even considered a start. It is considered barely a start. Because we must not have done a ton of stitching that day or something. This is on 40 count Heartland by Picture This Plus. It's beautiful. It's showing up more yellow than it is. It's definitely a cream color. Using all the called for flosses. Okay. This one is Quaker Pumpkins by Hello from Liz Matthews. Beautiful. I've been seeing so many people finish this season because it's such a great fall piece. This too is on 53-63 count from Legacy Linen, and this is in the color, it's not Gothic Ivory. It is Jersey Cream. Yeah, Jersey Cream. So beautiful little start here. I think that I just pulled flosses from Stash. I know it's not called for because like I have some unnamed color and cotton flosses in there. Like that purple that is the border. It's like a gray purple. It's beautiful. Okay. This is a Prairie Schooler Village Sampler. This is a 12 by 12 start. Love this one. I love it so much I have 2 copies of it on accident. This is a 12 by 12 start from 2020, and this is on 46 count Bee Stitch Me in the color Peanut, which is what we call our youngest, little Peanut. So that's barely a start because that is 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, 29 stitches. So it's barely a start because it's not actually 50. Okay, this one is fascinating to me. So I don't have a picture of this one. This is an Aurifil chart that you can get for free called Joyeux Noël. And you can Google a picture of it. They don't have like a cover sheet or anything. But I am doing this on 45 count jersey cream, and I decided that I'm doing this in Anchor and Sulky, and the coverage that I am getting is so beautiful. Like, I am just obsessed at how this green is popping off. Now I'm only in the bottom corner, and this thing is huge. Like, I'll show you. This thing is going to be giant, but giant for me, right? Because I stitch on really tiny fabric mostly. The 53, 63 count, this 56 count, those are all really, really tiny. So this is quite big for me. But the coverage that I'm getting with, this is Sulky, this floss color, is just so beautiful. So I'm very, very excited to make some more progress on that. This holiday season, I think this will definitely be one. This is my Christmas Eve start, not 12 by 12, in 2020. So I started that December 24th in 2020. All right, we're doing pretty good here. All right, this is Let Freedom Ring by Manny Dodonna. And I didn't want to do this in a box. I'm not going to finish it, but I love that house. I just love the layout. Now, I'm having a little bit of trouble because that quilt in the corner is all 1/1 stitching. And I just don't do well at 1/1 stitching. So here's my progress at the moment. I am taking things and moving them around for sure. In fact, at the front of it, on the front, I've like penciled in like 3 stars instead of America, but I've already started America, so I have to figure that out. Anyway, like 3rd sheep instead of 1776. So I'm like making like some notes of things I want to change in it. I just haven't gotten there yet. So this is 40 count corn husk by Color and Cotton. So it is very, very heavy on like it's a neutral, but it's heavy on like the yellow of neutral because it is corn husk. All right. Next one is Quilting Bee by the Blue Flower. Golly, I love this so much. Quilting Bee. And this is on 46 count Sand Dollar by Bee Stitch Me. And I did a floss conversion from Stash. Look how beautiful that is. Love it. Okay, and I think I was doing this as a smalls exchange because I picked up this little Prairie Schooler at Keepsakes, and I think I was going to include it in the gift because it's in this bag. So I think I started it as a smalls exchange and then didn't actually. Do you see a theme here? That I start things as smalls exchanges and don't actually do them? This one is called Stars and Stripes Forever by Annie Bees. I did this for 12 by 12 in 2020. And here is the pattern. And I am doing this on 40 count Prairie Dust by Color and Cotton. Here is my current start on that. So I would consider this started. I just don't have very much progress on it. I have so many that have very, very little progress on, and I have desperately got to figure out. I've tried. I've tried to come up with like, okay, let's do Whip Go. Let's do, themed days or something like that. I don't know. This is Janet Douglas. Let's do what we love and do it a lot. Isn't this so pretty? This is on 40 count Cafe au Lait by Fiber on a Whim. Here's my start on that. Very pretty. And I did my own floss conversion on this because I did it for 12 by 12. And again, I try to use up a lot of stash. This is the 2020 Pandemic Sampler by Sarcy Girl here on Instagram, not here. She's on Instagram, Sarcy Girl. She came up with this beautiful sampler for 2020. Isn't that gorgeous? And so I had a piece of fabric that I thought, man, that would look so good on. And it is 46 count Stonehenge by Bee Stitch Me. So some of these colors are muted and some of them are popping off, and I am totally fine with that. I love it so much. That white house is really gonna stand out while the red house is really gonna kind of fade in, and I love that. I'm excited about this one. She did a beautiful job for this, and the fact that she offered it for free is insane. So I am nearing an end. Oh my goodness, an hour and 20 minutes. We're nearing an end here. Hopefully this is one that you were just able to like put on in the background and stitch your little heart out. This is Bump in the Night by Prairie Schooler. I am doing this on 45 count Jersey Cream by Legacy Linen. And I'm just down in the corner. Because again, I'm not a Halloween person. Our family doesn't do Halloween, but there are some Halloween charts that I'm just like, man, I want to stitch that. So Bump in the Night by Prairie Schooler. Of course, called for DMCs. And I don't say of course, like as if, how dare you change Prairie Schooler colors. I'm not that kind of person. Do you, I like to be told what to do. I like to not make decisions. The least I can make decisions, if that makes sense. So the fact that Prairie Schooler tells me what to do, I'm good with that. This is a sale that I am embarrassed to say I have made zero progress on. This is I'll Be Home sale that we did for Pam's birthday in 2020. And I am pretty far behind. I have all the fabric cut. I have been working on it. It is 40 count dirty. And we started this June 25th of 2020. Again, for Pam's birthday. Have all of the fabric cut. Somewhere I have at least... yeah, I have one house done. So here's the one I have done, January. And then here's my piddly little start on February. So I just consider this one whip, even though it's like multiple pieces. It's like I was talking about at the very beginning with the hem sings, or the hem, what's it called? Anyway, the hem series from Heartstring. I consider it just one overall whip. Okay, then we just have 3 more and they're all little. This one is my Bart Start that I was telling you about earlier. I'm using gold leaf and cast iron, and this is a 40 count color and cotton. And it will eventually say 50 stitches doth a new start make, but here is where I'm at on the bottom. I started this immediately when he came out with it because, again, just to show appreciation and to tell you guys about it because it's amazing that he did something like that. So there's that. And then we've got Project Quarantine by Brenda Gervais for with a needle and thread. This was, there were a lot of designers who were doing freebies for quarantine. And Brenda did this one. It was just a couple bucks at Keepsakes. I ordered it and had it shipped so that I could support my LNS during that time that they were closed. So that is my start. I just dropped the card. Let me see if it tells me what fabric it's on. It does. 36 count Patriots Brew by PTP. Hopefully you heard me say that. And I think I'm doing all the call for flosses because I ordered it from Keepsakes, so it would make me assume that I ordered everything. All right, and then my very last whip is Patchwork Sheep by Heart and Hand. This is so cute. So this is what I'm saying from Keepsakes. So don't mind my post-it note here at the bottom. But Keepsakes sent me this letter and it said, "Thank you so much for placing your order of Keepsakes. We're thrilled to fulfill your order for stitchy stuff. We made a thread substitution in your order. So here's what we substituted. Classic Colorworks 12 grain is now Classic Colorworks Brown Hen. We also wanted to let you know that there were threads that were unfortunately out of stock. You can check back with us in a couple of weeks if you need them. When we get them back in restock, we will be happy to send them to you." And there were 3. So I just substituted for what I had in my stash. So they just do a fantastic job. So that's really great that they communicate that well with you. And I just keep that in my thing so that when I'm like, hey, where is that thing? So why am I showing you the card? 46 count peanut and Bee Stitch Me. And yes, I have a needle stuck in there and I'm not gonna take it out. Sorry. All right. Would you like to know a number? I'm a little bit embarrassed to say this, but I've been told I shouldn't be embarrassed. I have been told when I've said it to friends this week. Friends are like, don't be embarrassed by that number. Like, there are people who have more than you. And I don't, not that I have any authority to deem my number embarrassing other than for myself. Because we shouldn't judge how many whips everyone has. So my number is 59. I have 59 whips in my stash. And then here in a month and a half, I'll have 12 more. And it will be fine. And I will figure out a plan for 2023 to try and knock some of these guys out. I love that I have them all digitally organized now, kind of in a grayscale progress chart, to where I know quickly, hey, I can pull this because I don't have that much left on it and I can knock that out in a weekend. So yeah. With that being said, my kids have been so amazing being quiet downstairs for an hour and a half. Everybody's just working on school. We have a 7th grader, a 5th grader, and then our little peanut. So school is very busy all the time. Thank you so much for joining me for a whip parade. It's really good sometimes just to pull out your charts, pull out your floss, pet it, look at the progress that you've made, see where I've started things in 2019 and where I'm at now. That's really fun. And then to have those really special whips like Hawk Run that just make me feel like I should be proud of my stitching, and I am. So thank you so much for joining me in the hive today, in the new hive. It was really fun just to sit and chat. So thank you so much for joining me in the hive. And if you have any questions or want to continue the conversation about whips down in the comment box, I will be happy to do that. Thank you so much. And I hope that you guys have a great week, a great weekend, and a great holiday season.